Happy Sunday, although it's probably not Sunday when you're watching this, but I'm recording this on a Sunday. I'm gonna walk you through a week in my life because this upcoming week is pretty busy and I wanted to focus on how do I get it all done? Or rather, how do I get the important things done? Because spoiler alert, you never have time to do it all.
There's not enough time in the day.
So I'm gonna talk about prioritizing, managing my to-dos, all that good stuff. I just got off my Sunday morning Skype call with Bridget. We meet basically every Sunday unless one of us is traveling or has something going on in order to plan podcast episodes, record them, plan Instagram posts, all that good stuff. I don't even think about that as one of my to-do list items because it's just part of my Sunday routine. But it did crack me up that this morning Bridget complimented me. She was like, oh, you look nice this morning. I said, thanks. I slept in my makeup because I knew I wouldn't want to get ready before vlogging.
That's genius.
So follow me for more productivity hacks like that. I should not be allowed to have a YouTube channel. This is the worst camera angle ever. But you'll notice I have my podcast equipment out because I'm also recording a Week in the Life podcast episode for our podcast Teaching to the Top. So if you want to hear the audio version of this week, I think that episode is coming out a week or two after this episode goes up. So just subscribe to Teaching to the Top, that way you don't miss it. But part of my Sunday routine, this is really uncomfortable. I'm tensing my quads in order to be in the frame. Part of my Sunday routine is sitting down at the computer and I open up Google Calendar, which you will see here. I have a full tutorial on Google Calendar. I will link it for you, and my Google Tasks. And that's one reason I love using Google Tasks as my to-do list organizer because I can easily access it within not only Google Calendar, but also my Google Drive, Gmail, all of that. I have a tutorial video coming on Google Tasks, but I basically start by finding all the things I need to do this week. And in order to do that, I start by looking at my calendar. So any items that are coming up either this week or even next week that I need to get done this week, I will add to my things to do this week list. So here's a little glance at my current things to do this week list. These are all items that I already put on here because I knew that they were coming. For example, scheduling an appointment with a new CPA here in Austin. I am just waiting on an email back for that. Curtis is my powerlifting coach and I pay him monthly, so I have reminders actually set up on my calendar for that, but that won't take place until next week. And then I have tax stuff with my profit and loss statement, and then I have to update a PD that I'm doing this Saturday. But I also look at my calendar. So for example, I have to pick up my parents from the airport. I'm filming on Tuesday, so I have to film, upload footage, record B-roll, all that good stuff. So I just kind of take it day by day and add items to the list that I know I'm gonna have to get done. So when I make my weekly to-do list, I aim to have 21 tasks. And the reason is I utilize a power list every day, which is just 3 things I'm gonna get done. So over the course of the week, I'm getting done 21 tasks. But obviously it doesn't always work out like that each week. This week, I'm pretty close on because I already have my power list for today. I need to get a check from my neighbor because we recently replaced our fence and we have a shared part of the fence. So she is paying for her half of that part of the fence. I need to respond to YouTube comments and then recording my Week in the Life clips and podcast clips. But the rest of the tasks for the week, I currently have 17 items, which I should have 18. So I'm right on track. But obviously there are weeks where I have a lot less, and that's wonderful. That means I can start new projects or I can just have a more laid back week.
Life lesson, some tasks are not worth doing.
There are also weeks where I have a lot more than 21 tasks. And in those cases, I do my best to prioritize. I focus on what absolutely has to get done versus what could be put off because maybe it's not as important or I have a longer timetable. And I do try to be proactive as much as possible. So if I know something is coming up next month, I try to get a head start on it. That way, if it has to get pushed back, it can, and it's not the end of the world. First of all, if I seem out of breath, it's because I just finished playing ping pong and our games are intense. We tend to play every Sunday night. It's just a great way to kind of relieve stress and have fun going into the week. But I'm gonna start sharing some clips on Instagram stories because there are just moments that y'all need to see.
What has 2 skinny chicken legs and sucks at ping pong?
Also, this lighting is awful, but we're gonna go with it. it is time to pick out my power list items for tomorrow. I typically do this the night before rather than the day of. That way, as soon as I start the next day, I can get to work right away. But I know some people like to do it in the morning. So either way is fine, but I will say if it's something new to you and you're worried that you'll forget to do it, I recommend habit stacking, which is where you pair what you want to become a new habit with something you're already doing. So for example, I take like a probiotic every night. When I take my probiotic, that could be my signal to work on my power list. And sometimes that is what I do, but I don't really struggle with forgetting to set my power list because I kind of get excited about it, which I understand is very lame. So if you struggle, try to pair it with something you already do. But if you're like me, just any little pocket of time that you have, you can pick out your power list items. So what I love about using Google Tasks is you can easily move items from one list to another. So for example, I'm looking at my things to do this week list, and one of the items was pick up my parents from the airport. Y'all can't see this. Hold on, let me turn down the brightness. Is that better? No, that's not better at all.
I can't see.
That's kind of better. So you'll notice up at the top, it lists the list. Okay, so if you click on it, you then can select another list. So I'm gonna select power list and it will move it to that list. So for me, that's just a very easy system. So tomorrow I need to pick up my parents from the airport. There was something else on here that I had to do tomorrow. Oh, meal prep. So that's another reason I don't typically film on Mondays. I discussed this on a vlog a while ago. I like to film now on Tuesdays, and that's because on Mondays I also meal prep and that takes a lot of time. So that is going on to the power list. And then I'm gonna go ahead and update my presentation for this weekend on my power list for tomorrow as well. It is now Monday morning, although it's kind of late morning, but I'll come back to that. I just finished my typical morning routine. Billy and I will drink our coffee at the table. He typically has some breakfast. You want to tell him what we're doing?
I am doing the Wordle.
And Luna's looking outside. This is part of our new morning routine. We sit down at the table before Billy goes to work, drink our coffee, he eats some breakfast, and we do the Wordle. We have become those people. We also have a daily office calendar that has a trivia question for each day. Thank you, Russell, for that. And we always make sure we answer that trivia question. It is Monday, and we need to talk about what to do when things unexpected come up. Or maybe they're not always unexpected, you just kind of forgot about them.
I totally forgot about the affair for a minute.
Hi, I do that all the time. Last night when I was showering, I realized that I also needed to paint my nails today. Obviously, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but because I am filming tomorrow, I would prefer for my nails to have some color on them rather than looking like a hot mess that they are right now. So I had already completed my power list. Like I had already chosen my 3 items for today. So when that happens, you have a couple different options. Number 1, you can have 4 items on your power list instead of 3. It depends on your schedule. It depends on how much availability you have. Thankfully, because I am now doing this full time, I have that flexibility to add additional items if and when needed. So that's what I'm doing today. I just added it on as an extra power list item. But if your schedule is pretty packed and you're not gonna have time to do 4 items instead of 3, then you have to swap something out. And again, this is why it's helpful to be proactive and work in advance as much as possible. So if you have to push things back, you can. Another good tip for you is to actually leave an item on your power list open each day. So instead of choosing 3 items, you would just choose 2. Then if something unexpected comes up, that would fill your 3rd power list item. If nothing comes up, first of all, do a little happy dance, but second of all, you then can just pick another item from your weekly to-do list and go ahead and move that over. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility. Another little hack, if you will, I have found that there are always items on my weekly to-do list that I put off.
Michael tends to procrastinate a bit whenever he has to do work.
A lot of times I put them off because they're difficult or I just dread doing it. Like if it involves me calling someone, hate making phone calls, don't want to do it. So I have forced myself to put those items on my power list early in the week so that I get it done and I don't have to worry about it. So for example, this presentation, I actually had this on my weekly to-do list last week, full transparency, and I just never did it. And the reason I put it off is because in my mind, I was worried that it wouldn't turn out good enough. And so I'm forcing myself Monday morning just to get it done. But an item like this is actually technically a project, right? It's not just like a one and done type of item. It's made up of a bunch of smaller tasks. When I have projects on my to-do list, I tend to procrastinate on them because I know it's gonna take me more time. So what I will do is actually create subtasks on Google Tasks. Those are like little indented tasks underneath. That way I get the satisfaction of checking items off as I go. And it's not like I spend 5 hours just to complete that one task and then I'm not motivated to do anything else for the rest of the day. So here's what that looks like with the subtasks. You will notice they're just indented underneath. Like I said, I have a tutorial video coming where I will show you exactly how to do that. But now I know the exact games that I have to go in and make changes to, and it just feels so much less overwhelming. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Michelle, I thought you always had taco salad for lunch. And you would be correct. But about 2 weeks ago, I decided I want to start incorporating more vegetables. And with taco salad, I was really only getting lettuce and a little bit of corn. So I've started creating like almost like a hibachi vegetable and chicken dish with teriyaki sauce. It's super easy. I meal prep it all on Mondays. Basically, I just cook the vegetables. I do broccoli, zucchini or squash, mushrooms, and carrots. I cook the chicken and then I divide it into containers like this for the week. And then I just put some teriyaki sauce. This is literally from Aldi. And it's super easy, it tastes really good, and it packs in some veggies in the middle of my day, which I was previously missing. Another day, another power list. First on the list is recording 3 YouTube videos. I'm sure y'all know by now, but I do utilize batching. It's one of my favorite time management strategies. Batching is when you complete similar tasks all at once. So for example, I'm sitting down and recording 3 YouTube videos rather than only recording 1. It saves time because I don't have to set up my equipment over and over again. I don't have to get ready over and over again. And I can get more into the flow, so I'm more efficient with my time.
It's called batching.
Highly recommend it. It's perfect for tasks like lesson planning or grading. Rather than doing it day after day after day, you could focus on it just once a week. Or instead of doing it week after week after week, you could focus on it just once a month. It truly is one of the easiest ways to save yourself time. You have no idea how good it feels to check off film March YouTube videos. That took a little over 2 hours, but I'm done. And I feel a big relief. That's why it's great to start with your most difficult task. And I went into today knowing that sitting down to record 3 videos would be very draining. So the other tasks that I have to get done today are a little bit more loosey-goosey, if you will. They're not as stressful. So next on my list is to record B-roll. So that's like those little shots that I put over top of the main clips. And the great thing about shooting B-roll is I don't use any of the audio, so I typically have like the TV going or podcast going. I don't have to like stay dressed up. I can get into comfy clothes because I'm not typically in them. It's like my hands. So that's good. After that, my third powerless item is to upload footage, and that's super easy. Once I get it uploading, it takes a couple hours, but I can go do other things. So for me, when it comes to those difficult tasks that I'm kind of dreading, I try to like sandwich them with other easier tasks so that I'm motivated, because once I get the hard thing done, the rest is easy. It is now Wednesday, and today is one of those days where I will be in front of my computer the entire time. All of my powerless items surround product creation for TPT. So we're gonna do something different. I'm gonna go to a local coffee shop. I've honestly had this as a goal since moving in. I told myself once a week I would go work from a coffee shop. That way it gets me out of the house, because otherwise I'm here all day, every day, minus going to the gym. But I'll be honest, I just haven't done it. I am very much a creature of habit. And so I would come up to my office and I would just stay here, but not today. We're gonna go to Summer Moon, which is a local coffee shop. Absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites. We're gonna get lots of work done. We're gonna be productive, but we're gonna do it in a little different environment. Let's have a chat about all those little ongoing to-do list items that you have that are too small to be part of your power list, but also fall through the cracks because they're not part of your power list. For me, it's things like answering emails, responding to comments, answering DMs. For you, email is probably still one of them, but also filing certain papers or making certain copies. It's all those little to-do list items that could fill up your power list every single day if you let them. But because you don't put them on your power list, because you want to move the needle forward and get to those bigger to-do list items, you end up forgetting about them and it falls through the cracks. I have 2 tips, 2 things that have worked for me. Number 1, make those tasks part of your routine, whether that's a daily routine, a weekly routine, monthly routine, whatever works for you. I know I always struggled with responding to emails, so I made that part of my morning routine. I don't even have to think about it. It's a habit to sit down with my morning coffee and answer emails. I also struggled to keep my house clean, and months would go by before I would clean the shower. So now every Friday, and this is me not being in the classroom and having the time to do it, I clean the entire house. Although this week I have to clean on Thursday instead of Friday because someone's coming on Friday to measure our floors. It's fine, we're being flexible, but having it be part of a routine is going to make sure it gets done without having it clog up your to-do list, if that makes sense. My second tip is to keep all of these little tasks in a list. Personally, I keep mine in the Notes app, but you could keep it in Google Keep or in your teacher planner. So whenever you have those small pockets of time, you can look at the list and go, oh yeah, I can be doing that. Whether it's you're sitting on the toilet. Let's be honest, we're all on our phones, right? So is there something more productive you could be doing on your phone than just scrolling through social media? I'll try to go through and respond to comments or respond to DMs. Maybe you're waiting for dinner to finish cooking. Maybe you're waiting for a meeting to start. Whenever you have those little lulls, you can look at your list and go, oh yeah, that's something I could be working on to make my life easier. Plus, if you happen to finish your power list for the day and you have time, you can always choose another item from your weekly to-do list, or you can choose one of the items from those ongoing tasks. A lot of times those are very monotonous, kind of mundane. It doesn't require a lot of brain power, but it's still something that has to get done. So those are my favorite time fillers, just like we have time fillers in the classroom, right? We also have time fillers in our productivity. So hopefully that helped. I don't know. It's something I've struggled with, so I wanted to share. It is Friday. I did not vlog yesterday because I spent most of the day cleaning and that's boring. But we do need to have a chat about not getting things done. Because if you're watching this thinking Michelle just does everything she says she's gonna do every day, that is not true. Real talk, Wednesday, my goal was to completely update my formal lesson planning templates. Did I finish that? No, I did not. And there's a lot of factors that go into it. Was I maybe a little more distracted than normal? Sure. Was my motivation a little bit lower? Yes. Was it maybe too much for me to do in one day? Also yes. There's a lot that goes into not being productive. Some of it's in our control, some of it isn't. Rather than expecting things to always be perfect and then getting frustrated when they're not, or kind of beating up on ourselves going, wow, you should be doing better than this. Go into it with the mindset of it doesn't have to be perfect, but that's also not an excuse for me not to put forth my best effort. So I buckled up, I got it done yesterday. It's all good. you know, it's not the end of the world. Looking forward to today. I am going to be working on digital planners. Bridget and I are launching the 2022-2023 school year digital planners at the beginning of May, and we kind of split up our responsibilities. So I need to actually create the planners, like the design aspects, and then she goes in and adds the links. So in order to give her enough time, I need to have my part of it done by mid-March. So we're gonna start on that today. I also need to update my Amazon store. This is one of those things that has not been a priority, but I decided, you know what, this is the week I'm gonna get it done. So I had it on my weekly to-do list and we're gonna do it today. And then finally, I am doing a FaceTime call with Patrice from Tales of Patty Pepper. And she is such a sweet lady. We connected through Get Your Teach On and we've just become closer lately. So we're gonna catch up with a FaceTime call. And that's one of those things that's on my calendar that maybe doesn't need to be part of my power list, but I have a bad habit of looking at events on my calendar, and I even get them on my watch, and then I just forget about them. I think because I see them all day, my brain like no longer processes it. So sometimes I add those as power list items. It just depends. So if you're like that too, and you struggle with forgetting events, even though they're on your calendar, you can try adding them as actual to-do list items on your to-do list. And side note, I love listening to music or podcasts while I work. This is my new favorite playlist. It's on Amazon Music. It's called Mellow 90s Gold. And at risk of sounding cheesy, it is gold. It just has all the best throwbacks. Good morning. It is now Saturday, and first thing on my power list is actually doing a virtual PD for some teachers in Nevada. Once that is done, I need to finish recording my vlog and get that footage uploaded. All right, PD is done, and there are two things I want to kind of leave you with as we close out this vlog. Number one, you'll be amazed at how much more productive you can be when you actually focus and prioritize. It is so easy to let a day get away from you without getting things done, or let a week even get away from you because you're too overwhelmed and you end up not doing anything. When I do these Week in the Life vlogs or the Week in the Life podcast episodes, I get so much more done because every single day I have a clear focus and I've made sure to prioritize. When you actually implement these strategies and you do it consistently, it makes a huge difference. So have that accountability. Share your power list on Instagram stories each day. And then at the end of the day, you kind of check in and check off the items that you got done. Tag me in it. I would love to be able to hold you accountable. Bridget and I have been doing this. She's been kind of finishing grad school. And so she would tell me like, oh yeah, I'm going to work on this assignment and I'm going to submit it tonight. I actually made her start sending me the little green check mark emojis as a text message to prove to me that she had submitted it. And it was just a little way to like hold her accountable. And then I could cheer her on when she did it. So it would help keep her motivated. So have that accountability. But once again, when you actually get focused and prioritize, so much more gets accomplished. The second thing I want to leave you with is make sure you take time to celebrate your success. I think that's one of the big things that leads to burnout or just feeling exhausted in general, especially when it comes to tasks like lesson planning, where as soon as you finish, it's time to do it for the next week. And you're like, like this, it just feels never ending, right? It's a cycle. So make sure that you actually celebrate when you finish a productive week or you finish a big task like lesson planning. Plan something fun that you have to look forward to. Watch your favorite Netflix show, eat a pint of ice cream, whatever it is that brings you joy. Make sure that you're actually taking time to celebrate, because if not, it's very easy to just move on to the next thing. And as a result, you never feel satisfied. So I hope you enjoyed this Week in the Life vlog. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you do not miss any future videos. As always, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I will catch you in the next one.